Line's good.
Never on.
Whoa.
Hard. Hardly.
Come on, Brent.
Line's good.
Got real close.
I hear high, right?
Try and hit 2/3.
Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Welcome to Game of Stones, everybody. I am Sean Graham Scott. Alongside, as always, hello, Scott.
Sean, it's a new year.
Yeah, happy 2020, buddy.
Who'd have thunk?
I know.
Oof. Does it feel different to you?
Not really.
Like to me, it kind of does.
Okay.
To be fair, I haven't been outside since the year started.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I got this weird feeling.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I don't know. It's going to be weird now writing the date. You know, it's always weird the first time you write the date after the new year.
Yep.
But doing it with a 2-0 is going to be strange.
Yeah, we'll get used to it. There's going to be 2 2s for another 10 years.
Yowzers.
Yeah. So get used to that one. As we're here in 2020. Of course, 2020 also, Scott, marks the midway point in the curling cycle.
That's right. Right. The next Olympic Games coming up in 2022, only about 26 months away, I guess.
Yeah. So that'll be really soon. That'll sort of sneak up on us before you know it. And, you know, just a lot going on out there, Scotty.
Yeah, lots going on. Speaking of the new year, Sean.
Yeah.
Did you happen to make any New Year's resolutions?
I don't tend to make resolutions because I feel as though I'm doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, you're doing a pretty good job.
I don't need to change anything. But I did, Scott, come up with some curling-related resolutions, both things that we can do and things that some of our favorite teams can do.
Oh, right on. Well, it's fortuitous then that we are recording a podcast and can talk about it.
Yeah, right? So I've come up with 3 for us and 3 for teams that we can talk about certain resolutions that I think would benefit the curling community in 2020.
All right. I've got a couple as well. You know, I thought of a few.
Okay.
But why don't you lead us off with one of your first ones?
All right. So the first one that I came up with regard to us, I think club level players in general, I think we should all resolve to take better care of our equipment. Really noticed it over the past month or so. Now, part of that is because there's so many rentals in curling clubs in December with holiday parties, but a lot of stuff on the ice. So, you know, just always be paying attention to how old your gripper is, making sure that, you know, if your club has a shoe cleaner, whether it's the sticky sheets, the pads that you step on before you go on the ice, or a boot cleaner type thing, just make sure you use that before you head out onto the ice, and just be really proactive in taking care of that equipment. Same thing with broom heads. As someone who has literally worn through a broom head and scratched the ice with the screw, always good to take good care of that. And then just in general, you know, if you're wearing mitts or something, this is something that I was guilty of a while ago. If you have mitts on that have like fluffies on them, right, they can get onto the ice. And so always want to be careful with that. So just, you know, I think everyone has a role to play in ensuring that the ice is in good condition. And part of that is good maintenance of your equipment.
Yeah, absolutely. If Santa wasn't, you know, able to bring you a gripper, now's a good time to go out and get one. Same goes for gloves and the like. Sean, I know your gloves are pretty worn out. You thinking of swapping them out anytime soon?
So I bought new shoes at the start of December. And because the old ones I had, the right shoe was about 90% duct tape and 10% shoe. So I finally bought new shoes. With that purchase, I did buy new gloves, which I have not broken out yet. I've decided that until the glove, it's really just the right glove. The left one's fine. Until the wristband actually snaps, I'm going to keep wearing it because nothing has come off that glove onto the ice.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. I did also get new shoes early in December, and I think that my old ones, the gripper foot even was starting to shed a little bit of some rubber particles there down onto the ice. So a good resolution for everyone.
Yes, 100%. So that was my first one. I think that's something that all players have a role in improving curling.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sean, this leads nicely into one of mine.
Okay.
It also has to do with the ice surface and whatnot. And one of the big problems that I had when I was doing ice was handprints and knee prints. So my New Year's resolution, and the resolution I'm putting forward, is to avoid putting your hands, knees, back, chest onto the ice. Even for just a couple seconds, it can create a bit of a divot in the ice and makes it much harder for the ice technicians to do their job.
Yeah, 100%. So many club curlers complain about the ice, and then you see them putting their hands on the ice too. So yeah. Just throw and stand up, right? If you don't want to crouch or can't crouch after you slide, get up.
Yeah,
right?
Just stand up.
Yeah, that you don't. Yeah, putting your hand on the ice is not great, and I think this is something too that the elite players need to work on. Because the men aren't as bad as they were a couple of years ago when they would like throw and then just like hop on their knees. Yeah. Right. You don't see that as much anymore, but they do tend to leave their hands on the ice a little bit after they throw. Carrie Anerson in particular, I've noticed that with her a bunch. So you want to make sure that you're getting your hands off the ice, and I think the elite players, because people just see it on TV, right? So hopefully that gets cleaned up a little bit, and at the club level, people just get up.
Yeah, and if you fall on the ice, get up. Don't
right.
Sit there and be, oh, my back hurts, or as long as you're not concussed, or are bleeding heavily, get off the ice.
Right. If you're seriously injured, then stay there. But if you're not, get up.
Even still, I think like let's say you break your leg falling, you can still like scooch over to the boards.
Yeah, you could, but like if you're concussed or you do something to your spine, then don't move.
Yes. In that case, don't move. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Okay. So another one, Scott, that I have for people like us at the club level. I want people to play faster, so I would resolve that everybody play faster. But on a personal note, I'm going to try to get less frustrated at slow play and instead try to be more instructive in encouraging people to increase the pace of play.
Well, that's interesting, Sean. Well, what sort of techniques are you going to use?
I am going to suggest to players in the kindest way that when the other team is throwing, get in the effing hack and clean your rock before the other team's rock has come to an end or come to a stop. I think just gentle reminders about fast play for the slow teams can be really effective, because a lot of folks that we talk to about this don't realize they're playing slow. So just by pointing it out in a non-confrontational way could help improve the pace of play. Because over the past 2 years, as we are the fastest team in our league, it hasn't really transferred to anybody else, the things that we do to play fast. So I think being more explicit in pointing out some of the strategies to improve the pace of play, again, not in a confrontational way, could help. So that's what I'm going to try and do this year.
Cool, Sean. Can we role play a minute?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to play the role of a slow club curler. Let's say I'm playing second.
Yep.
And I am watching the opponent's rock go down the ice from the hog line, the near hog line. What sort of thing would you say to me were you the one that was standing there?
One, I
know
wouldn't
you'd be sweeping.
standing there. I'd be sweeping. So I think it's the sort of thing. I would wait until after the game, and just when you're sitting, you're talking, just be like, hey, I noticed you were tended to watch the stone from the hog line. Just for future reference, I think it's a good idea to improve, just to quicken up the pace. If you go to the hack and you're cleaning your rock while that's going on, it'll just help improve the pace, and it'll let your team play more ends by the end of the year.
Oh, thank you for that very helpful tip. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's how all of these conversations will go.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
So that's one. My passive aggressive strategies haven't worked. My direct anger hasn't worked. So I feel as though this is the only possible next step.
That's fair. I do think your passive aggressive strategy is the most fun, but
Right.
I agree it doesn't work as much.
It is great fun. No question about it.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, since you talked about sitting around after the game, that leads nicely into my next resolution.
Great.
So, sitting around after the game, I'm going to try to, for the most part, only drink one drink after every game, rather than stay for the second drink. Now, I might stick around, but I'm going to try to stick to water for that second drink. And I think this is something that we're seeing around at a lot of different clubs, especially those where you have to drive home after.
Yep.
Maybe, just only take that second drink if you have no work the next day or something like that.
Yeah, and this is something I've sort of done a little bit myself this year, is even just foregoing the first drink on some nights.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've really noticed is, I'm sitting there, I still have a beverage in front of me, and it hasn't really diminished my enjoyment of the post-game experience.
Exactly, as I'm drinking a beer right now.
There you go.
So, I think especially those late games, limit myself to one or maybe none.
Yeah.
But, still try to enjoy the camaraderie of playing at a club and, putting less stress on myself to, I have to get up tomorrow and I've had 2 beers at 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good goal for everyone too. If you're at one of these clubs where you have to drive home, try to limit yourself to one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's certainly a responsible choice for sure. So on the opposite end of that, Scott, my last one for us at the club level is to try to arrive at the rink earlier than I normally do. I am always ready to go at game time. Occasionally, I'm ready to go 5 minutes earlier. But, if our game's at 6:30, I'm usually walking into the club around 6:15, and then it takes me about 10 minutes to get ready. The same for an 8:45 game. I'm getting there at about 8:30. So if I can get there a little earlier, there's multiple benefits to this. One, I could have a proper warm-up, which I've noticed this year I really need. I injured my knee last year, and just giving myself a little more time to sort of get my lower half going is beneficial for the knee. But also, now this isn't going to be the case at all clubs, but if you're at a club where, if you're the first game on the ice for that day, or maybe the game in front of you ended early, if everyone's there 5-10 minutes earlier, you can get out there on the ice and play and ensure that you're going to get a full game in. So if everyone, if possible, can get there and be ready to go, it really does save time. Another thing you can do that I don't see a lot of, but I think it would really help, if the sheet in front of you is going a little long, you can shake hands, do the coin toss before you go out on the ice. And if you're both sort of standing there watching that game, introduce yourself to the other team, do a coin toss or whatever you do at your club. You can even do rock, paper, scissors. It really doesn't matter. And then you're ready to go once you get out there on the ice. So just getting out there and going, saving as much time as possible.
Yeah, Sean, that's a great resolution to bring up. I oftentimes will go straight from work to the club for one of these early games. So I'm usually there maybe an hour even before the game starts, or 45 minutes. And I find it really helps to be able to do a full warm-up. I always feel better when I'm fully stretched out as opposed to just, 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a really great goal. I'm into it.
Well, thank you. That's good. So hopefully that helps me and maybe helps some other folks.
Exactly. And so I'm going to switch away from some of our resolutions right now because I can't really think of any more. So I'm going to talk about some of the resolutions that some of our favorite teams could maybe adopt in going into the new year. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I've written down a couple here.
Okay, so my first one is for Team Hasselberg. They obviously don't have much to work on, given that they're so great. But I think their resolution should be to clean another spot off on their trophy shelves, getting ready for the World Championships. I'm sure they'll have some hardware to bring home and need to have a place to keep it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair guess or a fair prediction there. So yeah, it's never wrong for Anna Hasselberg to expect some more hardware, another trophy on her, shelf. So I agree with you on that one for Anna Hasselberg. I wrote down here one, Scott, for Jason Gunlifson, just to keep doing what you're doing. Just
give him one.
Just keep it up, man. Just keep being one of the more entertaining people in the sport. That'd be a resolution I got for Gunnar.
Yeah, I'd like to see Gunnar coming out of Manitoba this year. I think it would be really fun.
It'd be great. Or wild card if that's the case. I would just love it.
Yeah. What did he roll the rock on its side once?
He might. No, he might have. I don't know. During the wild card game a couple years ago, he basically sort of had it like shoved it to get something out from under it, and it sort of how when you roll a glass on its end.
Yeah, it kind of wobbled a bit.
Yeah, it did that halfway down the ice.
Oh boy!
Love Gunnar.
What a gem! Yeah. The next one for our friend Ben Hebert would be I'm going to steal this. Katrina did this on her show. That Santa Katrina brought a swear jar for Ben Hebert. So I'm going to say Ben Hebert should resolve to get a swear jar, put a loony in there every time that he curses on TV, and he'll be able to pay the fines.
A loony, geez, God, I think he should think of his children. They deserve to be housed and clothed, and if Ben Hebert is putting $1 in every time he curses on TV, I fear for the children.
Good point. Okay, a quarter.
There you go. But no, that you're right. That would be good for Benny to clean it up when he's on the mic.
Yeah, just a little bit. He's very entertaining.
Right.
So. I like it, but at the same time, think of the children,
Absolutely.
as you say.
Yes. And speaking of cleaning it up, one of the ones I wrote down is for Glenn Howard and his team to, between shots, make sure you're keeping the ice nice and clean. Given all the picks that they suffer, just be a little more proactive there, guys, in cleaning the ice.
Yeah, we can't have too many picks going on.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. That's a good one. I'm going to give another one out to one of the Manitoba teams, Sean, and that's to Jennifer Jones.
Yes.
And it's going to be not so much to play better, but I'm going to put the onus here on the 3 players leading up to Jen to put her into better situations to be able to win the game.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. They've definitely struggled this year, no doubt about that. So yeah, putting Jen in better positions would be good.
Yeah, I got nothing more than that.
Okay.
That was sort of something I just made up now. So.
Okay, I have another one here. The resolution for Suzanne Goody there for this year would be to move beyond just breaking the single game scoring record at Scotties and go for the gusto and break the all-time single event scoring record. I think she could do like a James Holtzizer, the Jeopardy guy. I think she could do one of those and just revolutionize the scoring at a curling event. And, this is going to sound crazy. If she really, really tried, I think she could average double digits in a Scotties.
Yeah, maybe play no takeouts.
Yeah. Right?
That could be pretty fun.
Yeah, so that would be a lot of fun.
Cool. And I had one more, but it just flew out of my head.
Okay.
And I don't write things down, so.
Okay, so then I'll present my final one here, and this one may be a little more serious and a little more somber, but I think this is the year, Scott, that finally Kathy Goche and Vic Rauter can get along.
Yeah, they got to bury the hatchet, you know, put it all behind them.
Yeah, just let it all go. Start new, start fresh. It's a new decade. Put these little petty differences aside.
Yeah,
and,
the way that Elsa sings about in Frozen, let it go.
Let it go. Yeah,
just let it go. Yeah, we were exposed to a lot of Frozen this year, more than usual. So the last one that I had, Sean.
Yeah.
And I think this is doable. I think this is doable this year. I'd like to see Team Nunavut win one game at either the Scotties or the Brier.
Okay. Well, they won last year at the Scotties.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So at the Brier. That's what I mean.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. That's a good one. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. And in this format, it could allow for it. We'll see what the pools are for either Kerry Galusha or Jamie Cooey to make the playoffs. Right.
At least the championship round, yeah.
When Jamie Cooey made the playoffs, that was great. Whatever year that was. But yeah, when the two of them are there, it's always fun. And if they're competitive, you have an extra competitive team from a place that normally doesn't produce competitive teams at the national level. It just makes the whole event more interesting.
Much more interesting, Sean. And off the top of my head, that was 2012 in Saskatoon, where he made the playoffs, and I believe he played Kevin in the playoffs.
Yes.
The 3-4 game. So
yeah,
I remember because I was there for some of it. So
yeah, and poor Fred had to hit both flags, and
yeah, he had to get one of those jerseys with half on one side, half on the other. Oh boy. Real rough.
Yeah, totally rough. So there you go. There you have it. Some resolutions, both that you can employ at your own clubs, and some resolutions for those top competitive teams out there. So just a little fun. Let us know what your curling resolutions are for 2020.
Please. Let's we'll read them when we get them for the next podcast. How about?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll let us know what you think, what your resolutions are, and we'll present them on the next episode. So you can reach us at gameofstonespodcast@gmail.com. Twitter is at Game of Stones Pod. Same with the Instagram at Game of Stones Pod. Scott's out there at Scott Lakes TV, and I'm on Twitter at Dr. Shawnee Fever. So reach out, let us know what your curling resolutions are as we kick off the Roaring 20s.
The Roaring 20s, yeah. I read something on Twitter today, Sean, that it's going to be the Roaring 20s, but it'll be that because lions will rise up and kill us all by the end of the decade, so that's why it'll be referred to as the Roaring 20s.
Oh, all right. Well, then we don't have to worry about climate change if the lions just kill us all.
I guess so.
Yeah. So there you go. So let us know your resolution, and like we say, we'll talk about that on the next episode, which will be after the Continental Cup. We're going to take about a week and a half off because Scott is fleeing the country.
Yeah, I got to get out of here again. Can't stay in one place too long, Sean, so off I go. And unlikely that I'll be with you on the next episode, but we might be able to work something out.
Yeah, we'll see how the Continental Cup goes. If it's a blowout like last year, until the end at least, maybe we could record something a little earlier in the day. But more likely than not, that one will be a solo project for me. Or maybe I'll get some special guests on. We'll see. Still working on the production side of that. So we'll see how that comes. But we'll be back with you after the Continental Cup. Scott, what is your 5-second preview of the Continental Cup 2020?
Watch out for the S nations.
Okay. They're all S nations.
Exactly.
Okay. So yes, it's Team Europe, of course, or Team. Are they calling them Team Europe or Team World? I don't even know.
Team Europe.
Okay, so Team Europe, of course, Switzerland, Sweden, and Scotland for both the men's and the women's, and 3 Canadian men's and women's teams out there. The thing I will say about this is the last time that they didn't have Americans, it was an absolute rout for Team Canada. I'm curious to see if that happens again. For as much as this isn't a serious event and the players take it really casually and loosely, this could be a fun little measuring stick about how far the world has come.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go on the record now and predict that World or Team Europe will win.
Okay. I would sort of lean the other way, but who knows, right? The Continental Cup is super unpredictable, and the past couple years have been a lot of fun. So actually I can't remember what happened in 2017, but 2016 was great, 2018 was great, and 2019 was great. So, it's been a pretty good run for the Continental Cup.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Should be fun.
Yeah, so safe travels there, Scotty. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Hope you brought it in with some joy and happiness and all that good stuff, and that you did so responsibly. So welcome to 2020. We'll be with you this year, taking you through the world of curling as we continue the march towards Beijing 2022.
Can't wait.
So thanks for joining us. We'll be back with you, like we said, after the Continental Cup, and reach out to us. Let us know your resolutions. But until we talk to you again, keep those brooms on the ice and don't dump that intern.
Make the final.